Most people are taught to believe that love is supposed to feel intense all the time. Butterflies, constant excitement, emotional highs that make your heart race. And while intensity can be thrilling at the beginning, it is not what keeps a relationship alive in the long run. Intensity burns fast, consistency builds slowly, and what it builds is far more powerful. Forever love is created when two people choose each other not just on exciting days, but on ordinary ones when nothing dramatic is happening and no one is trying to impress. Consistency is the choice to show up even when the mood isn't perfect. It's answering a message when you're tired, checking in when life is busy, and being present when distractions are tempting. These actions may feel small, but over time, they send a powerful message. You can rely on me, and reliability creates emotional safety. When someone feels safe with you, they relax. They stop questioning your intentions, your feelings, your commitment. Love deepens when it no longer has to constantly prove itself. Intensity often disguises itself as passion, but it can also hide instability. Big emotional highs are usually followed by big lows. One day everything feels magical. The next day everything feels uncertain. Consistency removes that emotional whiplash. It replaces chaos with calm, and calm is not boring. Calm is secure. Secure love allows two people to grow without fear that one mistake, one argument, or one quiet day will make everything fall apart. Consistency also shows itself in behavior, not promises. Anyone can say the right words in the moment. What truly matters is what someone does repeatedly. Do they keep their word? Do they treat you with the same respect in private as they do in public? Do they stay kind when things aren't going their way? These patterns form the foundation of trust. Trust is not built overnight, but it can be broken quickly when consistency disappears. Many relationships fail not because love disappears, but because effort becomes occasional. When affection, communication, and presence are only offered when convenient, love starts to feel uncertain. People don't need constant excitement. They need consistency. They need to know that care isn't temporary, that effort won't fade once comfort arrives. Forever love is choosing to be intentional even after the novelty wears off. Consistency also means choosing the relationship even on days when attraction feels quieter. Attraction naturally ebbs and flows. It is not meant to stay at its peak forever. But when consistency is present, attraction has space to return. When effort continues, even during low moments, the bond strengthens instead of weakening. Over time, consistency transforms love from something fragile into something grounded. When you choose consistency, you stop chasing sparks and start building something real. You trade emotional chaos for emotional security. And in that security, love doesn't fade. It settles, it strengthens, and it lasts. Emotional presence is one of the most underrated forces in a relationship, yet it is often the difference between love that survives and love that slowly fades. Many people believe being present simply means being physically there, but emotional presence goes much deeper than sharing space. It's about being mentally and emotionally available, especially in moments when it would be easier to withdraw, distract yourself, or shut down. Forever love is built when someone knows they can reach you, not just see you. Being emotionally present means listening with the intention to understand, not to respond. It's choosing to put the phone down, quiet the noise in your mind, and truly hear what your partner is expressing, even when it's uncomfortable. When someone feels genuinely heard, their nervous system relaxes. They stop feeling like they have to compete for attention or prove their feelings are valid. Over time, this creates a deep sense of emotional safety, which is essential for lasting intimacy. Emotional presence becomes most powerful during difficult moments. Anyone can be attentive when things are light and easy, but connection deepens when you stay open during stress, disappointment, or conflict. It's choosing to remain engaged when your partner is emotional instead of distancing yourself because their feelings feel heavy. That choice communicates care in a way words alone never could. It says, "You don't have to handle this alone," and that message strengthens trust at its core. Many people pull away emotionally without realizing it. They avoid hard conversations, change the subject, or minimize feelings because vulnerability feels uncomfortable. But avoidance creates distance even when love is still there. Emotional presence requires courage. It means allowing your partner to see you when you're unsure, tired, or imperfect. That openness invites closeness because it gives permission for honesty on both sides. Love becomes a shared experience rather than a performance. Emotional presence also includes awareness of your partner's emotional world, not just your own. It's noticing changes in their tone, energy, or behavior and responding with curiosity rather than assumption. Asking, "Are you okay?" and being willing to sit with the answer builds connection in everyday moments. These small check-ins add up, reminding your partner that their inner world matters to you. Over time, emotional presence creates a relationship where both people feel safe to express themselves without fear of dismissal or rejection. It reduces the need for emotional armor and defensiveness. When someone knows you will meet their feelings with care instead of resistance, they open up more freely. That openness fuels intimacy, trust, and connection. Love that lasts isn't loud or dramatic. It's steady, attentive, and emotionally available. When emotional presence becomes a daily habit rather than an occasional effort, the relationship stops feeling uncertain. It feels anchored, supported, and deeply connected. One of the most defining choices in any relationship is whether you prioritize being right or being connected. In moments of disagreement, the urge to prove a point can feel overwhelming. Your mind starts gathering evidence, replaying past conversations, and crafting the perfect argument. But in those moments, something subtle happens. The focus shifts from understanding to winning. And while winning might give you temporary satisfaction, it often creates emotional distance that takes much longer to repair. Respect is what keeps love intact when emotions run high. It shows up in how you speak, not just what you say. Tone matters. Timing matters. Choosing not to interrupt, not to mock, not to dismiss feelings, even when you strongly disagree, is an act of respect. It communicates that your partner's experience is valid, even if your perspective is different. That validation doesn't weaken your position, it strengthens the relationship. When respect disappears, safety goes with it. Arguments stop being about the issue at hand and start becoming personal. Words turn into weapons, and once spoken, they can't be taken back. Many people underestimate how deeply disrespectful moments imprint on a relationship. Long after the conflict is resolved, the emotional memory remains. Choosing respect protects the bond from scars that don't easily fade. Being right often feeds the ego, but respect feeds connection. There are moments when you may technically be correct, yet insisting on it damages intimacy. Forever love requires the ability to pause and ask yourself what truly matters in that moment. Is it proving your point or preserving trust? Is it defending your position or protecting the emotional bond you're building together? These small internal choices shape the future of the relationship. Respect also means allowing space for difference. Two people can love each other deeply and still see the world differently. Respect accepts that disagreement does not equal disloyalty. It allows room for individuality without turning differences into threats. When your partner feels respected, they don't feel the need to defend themselves. Conversations become calmer, more honest, and more productive. Another powerful aspect of respect is accountability. It's the willingness to acknowledge when you've crossed a line, spoken harshly, or reacted unfairly. Saying, "I was wrong," is not a loss of power, it's a demonstration of emotional maturity. Accountability rebuilds trust faster than defensiveness ever could. It reassures your partner that the relationship matters more than pride. Over time, choosing respect over being right creates a dynamic where both people feel safe to express themselves. Conflict stops feeling like a battlefield and starts feeling like a conversation. Love grows stronger not because disagreements disappear, but because they are handled with care. When respect becomes the default response, even in tension, the relationship gains a resilience that allows it to last. Appreciation is one of the quiet forces that determines whether a relationship flourishes or slowly fades. In the beginning, gratitude flows easily. Effort is noticed, gestures are acknowledged, and nothing is taken for granted. But as comfort grows, appreciation often gets replaced by assumption. We assume our partner knows we care. We assume they understand their effort matters. Over time, that silence can feel like invisibility, even when love is still present. People don't fall out of love because they stop caring. They fall out of love because they stop feeling valued. Appreciation is what keeps emotional connection alive during routine and repetition. When someone feels seen for what they do and who they are, they feel motivated to keep showing up. A simple acknowledgement can mean more than a grand gesture because it reinforces that their presence makes a difference. Appreciation is not about constant praise or exaggeration, it's about recognition. It's noticing the effort your partner puts into the relationship, into your life, into shared responsibilities, and choosing to name it. When you say thank you for the small things, you communicate awareness. You tell your partner you're paying attention. That awareness builds emotional intimacy because it shows that nothing they do is invisible to you. Lack of appreciation often creates resentment, not because effort stops, but because effort feels unnoticed. Over time, that resentment turns into emotional withdrawal. People begin to give less, not out of cruelty, but out of self-protection. Appreciation reverses this cycle. It creates a positive feedback loop where effort is met with acknowledgement, and acknowledgement encourages more care and generosity. Appreciation also strengthens attraction. Feeling valued is deeply attractive. When someone feels appreciated, they show up with more warmth, confidence, and openness. The relationship feels lighter, safer, and more connected. Appreciation doesn't just support emotional intimacy, it fuels desire. It reminds both people why they chose each other in the first place. Another powerful aspect of appreciation is that it shifts focus from what's missing to what's present. No relationship is perfect, and constant criticism can make love feel like a performance that's never good enough. Appreciation balances this by highlighting what is working. It doesn't ignore issues, but it ensures they don't overshadow everything else. When appreciation becomes a habit, challenges feel manageable rather than overwhelming. Appreciation also protects love during difficult seasons. Stress, fatigue, and external pressures can strain even strong relationships. In these moments, appreciation acts as emotional glue. It reminds both people that they are on the same team. That effort is still being made, even if energy is limited. Feeling appreciated during hard times builds loyalty and deepens trust. When appreciation becomes a daily practice, Love stops feeling conditional. It feels secure, nourishing, and mutual. Small words of gratitude accumulate into something powerful. A relationship where both people feel valued, chosen, and emotionally connected. Curiosity is one of the most powerful yet overlooked choices in a relationship. When two people first come together, curiosity comes naturally. You ask questions, you want to understand how they think, what they feel, and why they react the way they do. Over time, that curiosity often fades and gets replaced by assumptions. We begin to believe we already know our partner, and in doing so, we stop truly listening. That shift quietly erodes intimacy. Judgment closes doors that curiosity keeps open. When a partner expresses something difficult and is met with criticism, defensiveness, or dismissal, they learn to protect themselves by sharing less. Over time, emotional distance grows not because love disappears, but because it no longer feels safe to be honest. Curiosity, on the other hand, signals openness. It communicates, I want to understand you even when it's uncomfortable. Choosing curiosity means asking questions instead of making conclusions. It's pausing before reacting and wondering what might be beneath the surface of your partner's words or behavior. When someone seems distant, frustrated, or upset, curiosity asks, what's going on for you? Instead of assuming the worst. That question alone can transform tension into connection because it invites explanation rather than defense. Curiosity also requires humility. It means accepting that your perspective is not the only valid one. Two people can experience the same situation very differently, and both experiences can be real. When you approach your partner with curiosity, you make room for their emotional truth without needing to immediately correct or challenge it. This creates a space where honesty feels welcome instead of risky. Another important aspect of curiosity is staying interested in your partner's inner world as they evolve. People grow, change, and adapt over time. The person you fell in love with years ago is not the exact same person today, and that's not a problem. It's an opportunity. Curiosity keeps love fresh by allowing you to continually rediscover each other. It prevents stagnation and keeps the relationship dynamic rather than predictable. Judgment often shows up when emotions are high. It can sound like labeling, blaming, or jumping to conclusions. While judgment may feel like protection, it usually escalates conflict. Curiosity slows things down. It creates space to understand before responding. That space is where empathy lives, and empathy is essential for lasting intimacy. Curiosity also strengthens emotional safety. When your partner knows they won't be immediately judged for their feelings, they are more likely to open up. They share more honestly, more often. Over time, this builds a deep sense of trust. The relationship becomes a place where vulnerability is met with care instead of criticism. Choosing curiosity over judgment is a daily decision. It's not about being passive or avoiding difficult conversations. It's about approaching those conversations with the intention to understand rather than to win. When curiosity becomes the default response, love grows stronger, communication becomes easier, and connection deepens in ways that last. Trust is not created through big declarations or dramatic promises. It is built quietly through reliability and repair. Every relationship experiences moments of friction, misunderstanding, and emotional missteps. What determines whether love grows stronger or weaker is not the absence of these moments, but how consistently they are handled. When someone knows that conflict will be met with care and accountability rather than avoidance or blame, trust begins to take root. Reliability is one of the clearest signals of love. It shows up in doing what you say you will do, being where you promised you would be, and following through even when it's inconvenient. These actions may seem ordinary, but they create a powerful sense of emotional security. Over time, consistency in behavior becomes evidence that your words can be trusted. When reliability is present, doubt fades. Your partner doesn't have to guess where they stand or worry about sudden withdrawal. Repair becomes essential because no one gets it right all the time. Even with good intentions, mistakes happen, words come out wrong. Emotions escalate, feelings get hurt. Repair is the choice to return to connection after conflict instead of letting distance grow. It's reaching out, taking responsibility, and acknowledging the impact of your actions. Repair communicates that the relationship matters more than pride. Many people avoid repair because it feels uncomfortable. Apologizing can feel vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel like weakness. But in reality, repair is one of the strongest actions you can take in a relationship. It reassures your partner that conflict doesn't threaten the bond. It teaches them that even when things go wrong, reconnection is possible. This creates resilience, allowing the relationship to recover rather than fracture. Reliability and repair work together. Reliability builds trust over time, while repair protects it when mistakes occur. Without repair, even a reliable person can create emotional distance. Without reliability, apologies lose their meaning. When both are present, trust deepens because your partner sees a pattern of care, accountability, and effort. Another important aspect of repair is timing. Addressing issues sooner rather than later prevents resentment from settling in. Quick, sincere repair shows emotional awareness and respect. It tells your partner that their feelings are important enough to be addressed, not ignored. This responsiveness strengthens emotional intimacy and reinforces safety. Over time, a relationship built on reliability and repair feels stable. It doesn't rely on perfection, it relies on commitment. Both people understand that mistakes are part of being human, but they are not excuses to disconnect. Trust grows because there is confidence that challenges will be faced together rather than avoided. When reliability becomes a habit and repair becomes a priority, love stops feeling fragile. It feels secure, grounded, and dependable. And in that security, the relationship gains the strength to last through change, conflict, and time.